This lesson covers creating network policy server policies. Now on the main network policy server screen, we have the Getting Started. And here you can perform standard types of radius configuration, such as network access protection, or radius server for dial-up or VPN, or radius server for wireless or wired connections. You can also do advanced configurations, and this helps you configure things like those radius clients, and it really just points you to the various nodes in the navigation. And I can manually go into these policy areas, or I can say, well, I want to set this up for dial-up or VPN. So it then gives me the configure VPN or dial-up. I can now give a name. So I'm going to say this is for virtual private network connections. And it's going to give a default name. I can then specify, well, who are the clients for this? So I just have my default one there already. Which type of authentication am I going to use? So I've been using MSCHEP v2, so I'm going to accept that default. And it's now going to give me some conditions. So who do users have to be a member of group to be able to be accepted? So I'm going to just add domain users. So really anyone who is a domain user will be able to authenticate via this radius server. Do I want any kind of IP filtering? So they have to be within certain subnets. So I'm going to skip that. What sort of encryptions do I want to enable? So I'm just going to accept the defaults there as well. And do I want to use a realm name? But for now, I'm just going to leave this blank. I don't need this. That's now complete and I can hit finish. Now what this has done behind the scenes is added a new network policy. So I can see here my grant access, and the conditions in here are literally just saying, so it's enabled, grant the access, ignore the dial-in properties configuration, it's remote access VPN server. My condition is it's of type VPN and it's a member of the Windows group. I don't have any constraints on these connections and it's just standard configurations. I also have connection request, and again I can see here virtual private network connections. Condition is its type VPN, and again you have some settings down here. So this is policy enabled, it's going to allow this through. Now you do need to take note of the processing order. So by default, I actually have something in here which is just saying deny. So deny access if it's this particular vendor. Now any types of deny, I generally like to try and move down to the bottom just to be on the safe side, unless you know you definitely don't want those to be able to connect. So maybe if you enabled it for everyone, but you had one bad type of user you wanted to block, then sure, move that processing order up. So I've now actually gone ahead and configured a setting, some policies for my server to accept those types of people connecting. Notice also in these connection request policies, this is where I can configure this to act as a radius proxy. So for example, my TS gateway authorization policy, under conditions, I have a certain types of value for the NAS port type where I can add anything I want. So I could create a set of conditions that when this is true, I'm actually going to forward the authentication. So rather than authenticate it locally on this server, I could actually forward it to another group, another radius server group that I have configured on this server. And that's what makes this a radius proxy for those types of requests whose conditions are met right here. This completes the lesson on creating network policy server policies.